Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the Bad Batch Operative Expansion for Star Wars Legion. Now I got this bad boy back on my birthday, which was a couple of months ago now, so I'm pretty damn excited to open this. There's 6 models inside, so let's crack this bad boy open and see what we're working with. So here we have it. There's me in the reflection there. We have the Bad Batch Operative Expansion. Very cool. So at the back, we're loyal to each other, not some empire. Of course, Hunter says that, and they are compatible with the Rebels because Star Wars The Bad Batch is set after the Clone Wars. And pretty much right at the end of when the clones aren't really used anymore. So here we have all these 6 models. Now, being that there's 6 models in this pack and they're all very, very detailed, I don't think I'm going to be able to paint all of them in this one video, but we will certainly paint up a couple of them and also see what's in the box. So in here we do have, once again, the same key art of the Bad Batch, and this actually doubles as a really neat poster. There we have everyone except for Crosshair. I don't know if hopefully you've seen the Bad Batch if you're considering buying this pack, or if you're watching this video in general. But yes, Crosshair isn't really part of the Bad Batch for a lot of the Bad Batch. So now, let's just see what we have in terms of card stock before we check out the models. We have, seems like there's actually a Republic little token here, so I guess they can be run with the Republic. And we have the Omega card, the mascot of the 99th. Here we have a little description of Omega, and that's very cool. Omega, and then we have the Bad Batch themselves, being that they are a group of all of them. Really, it seems like, and all of them seem to be free. So I guess you just kind of put them all onto the actual unit, depending on how you go. So Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Tech. And then I don't really know the politics of this one. I'm not gonna lie, but we have Hunter here. He is our leader. We have Wrecker, very cool. We have Tech, and we have Echo. Plus, on the end, we do have Crosshair. So that is pretty cool as well. And then we have the Bad Batch. Oh, probably should have had a look. But anyway, we have the Rebels and also the Republic version of the Bad Batch. So how cool is that? So this one comes with Crosshair, and this one doesn't. Being that Crosshair leaves the Bad Batch, and I believe in season 1, episode 1 of the Bad Batch. So very, very cool stuff. That's all the cards we have, and I believe it should still be accurate if you're watching this video on release. But here we have the gigantic frame, gigantic sprue, whatever you want to call it, of the Bad Batch. So let's check it out. And it looks like everyone is in and absolutely exploded. So we have Omega there. We have what seems to be Wrecker in the bottom left there. I think that's Hunter's helmet there. We've got up here, that should be Tech's helmet with Omega's body. So look, we got everyone here. There is obviously Crosshair, because you can see his sniper rifle, and there is Echo's helmet. And I do believe that these... Okay, maybe not. I thought these guys would have came with non-helmet heads, but apparently not. So yeah, I guess we don't really have to worry about that side of it, because I was actually going to paint them with or without helmets. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put these guys together, and then we'll check out all the different models and see how they're looking. Oh, and I forgot to just say that there is actually another card I forgot to show off, but we do what we do. So look at this. Pretty much the Bad Batch gains all these types of upgrades as long as they have everyone in their group there. It's very cool art. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, let's go and build these guys and check out what they do. Okay, finally, I have built all of the Bad Batch. So let's have a look at what all the models look like. Firstly, we have Hunter. All these models, you can't really pose them any differently than what they come with. So anyway, here is Hunter. Probably pretty low if I was to... Oh man, I'll have to fill that in. Anyway, first of all, we got Hunter. Then we have Crosshair, of course. Look at that step. And he has his rifle, of course, plus that cool little thing that comes off of his shoulder pad. Next, we have Wrecker on a tactical rock as well. Pretty cool. Ready to rain down fire. It's pretty sweet. It's halfway now. Now we got Echo. He's a vet, right? He's got his Kama, I guess you could call it. So pretty sick and really showing off that droid arm there. Now we got Tech, and he is crouching down. He's playing on his Game Boy, so it's pretty damn cool. And I think he looks like one of the best out of all the 6 in terms of, conversion into Star Wars Legion. And lastly, we do have Omega. So yeah, she's right there. Her head is, I don't know, just feels like it's a little bit off proportion. But anyway, still pretty cool. And yeah, I did snap the bow when I took it off the frame, so gotta love that. To keep this video from going too long, I've decided to break up the team and focus on painting them in groups of 2. Let's start painting up the leader of the group, Hunter, and the haunted cyborg, Echo. Now, the first big decision we have to make is what paint job we are going to be aiming for. We have the Clone Force 99 paint job that's iconic for the batch, but then we also have the repainted armor they take in on their animated show, The Bad Batch. Now, even though I love the different specks of color of the repainted armor, I think we're going to go and just paint them in the classic Clone Force 99 colors. Personally, I think that the repaint will be better if we actually had helmetless heads for the team. Plus, we'd want them to kind of fit in nicely with the Republic list, if we do so choose. So now that we've made our big decision, we need to aim to give them dark grey armor. To do this, we bust out some Administratum grey and dry brush over the whole model. We do 2 passovers for the models, trying not to get the entire model grey, but at least the vast majority. Now we turn to Hunter as we cover 1 model at a time. After cleaning our makeup brush that we use to apply the paint for dry brushing, we load it with 1 part Abaddon Black and 1 part Admin Grey for Hunter's armor. This shade is nearly what we want, so this time we use the same mix of equal parts Abaddon and Admin, but this time we focus solely on his armor panels to give it a nice even coat. Hunter's plasteel armor is layered, and being that he's hunched over in his knife pose, we want to paint some dark grey paint in areas that will be folded over, like his belly and inner thigh armor pieces. The Bad Batch is often dispatched on missions and wet work that's not suited for your average clones of the Republic, so we really want to nail their Black Ops look. Loading up a small thin brush with black paint, we now paint in his visor, carefully avoiding getting any paint on his helmet. Next, we grab Corax White for the coolest design choice on Hunter's suit, his half skull. Freehanding to the best of our abilities, we paint in a skull shape on the left half of Hunter's helmet. Don't worry too much if it doesn't look too perfect. We want to give it the effect of Hunter painting it himself, so don't beat yourself up too much about it. I know I had to mix some grey up again to touch up some mistakes I made, so just go ahead if need be. Next, we paint his shoulder pauldrons in black, leaving a thin line of grey around the outside for edge highlighting purposes to show off the curvature of the plate. This is where the fun begins. Using Mephiston red and a thin long brush, I went around the model highlighting all the marking, taking my time and overall doing 2 coats. Next, we paint Hunter's signature weapon, his knife, using Black Templar contrast over the entire thing and a coat of Leadbelcher for the blade. Although I'm not the best at edge highlighting, I gave it a shot using some grey paint, and before I went ahead with the base, I figured that we may as well complete Echo first and do both bases at the same time. So starting with Echo, we once again do a dry brushing of 1 part black and 1 part Administratum grey. Following this, we use straight black on his waist cover, avoiding the pouches and boxes, and then we black in his thin visor on his helmet. Next, we get out the dark grey paint for the raised part of his helmet and his mechanical arm. Using Black Templar contrast paint now, we do a coat on his weapon and his Kama to make it look even darker. Corax white paint now on his 99 symbol and the skull located on his chest. And yeah, Hunter has one of these skulls too, which I seem to have missed. So if you want to make your Hunter 10 million times better than mine, make sure to paint and color in his little insignia. Mephiston red now for Echo's armor highlights. At this point, you can probably imagine that the same batch of paints will be used for this entire squad, besides Omega. And finishing off Echo now with some light grey highlighting. Now onto the bases. Using Astro Granite to coat the entire thing with some uneven terrain and not make the whole thing look like a tiny plastic army man stuck onto a thin coin base, we're going to go ahead and leave that to dry for a bit. Now, while this is drying, we're going to go and grab one of my favorite paints from the Citadel range, XV88. It's just so damn versatile. We want a full even coat with this stuff because we are not just trying to make the Bad Batch have the same terrain as each other, we also want them to match the rest of my Galactic Republic army. In that aspect, if your army has completely different bases, then go ahead with whatever you've cooked up. Using a droplet of super glue now, we want to gently drop some hobby grass tufts onto the bases of the models. I don't know if these are for tabletop war games or train sets or whatever, but damn, they turn out great on these bases. Lastly, we paint the base rims black. I know people like to paint the base rims in terms of squads or armies, but personally, I really think black looks fantastic and ties the whole model together across the board. And there we have it, the first two members of the Bad Batch, Hunter and Echo. If you like this video, I have plenty more on the channel and incoming. If you'd like to see the rest of the team painted up and displayed, the best way to not miss a beat is to subscribe. What do you think of the Bad Batch? Let me know in the comments below. I read every comment and respond to as many as I can. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.